you can hear me and clearly see me. You can see me clearly, right? Right. Then okay, let's begin. Okay, so a quick introduction. You're now watching the live stream of the GDG straight on coming up. So today I'm going to talk about Chrome DevTools. A short intro about me. I'm Henry. I'm a GDE in Web Technologies. I do front-end stuff, and usually I focus on PWA, DevTools, Project Fuku, also known as Web Capabilities, Firebase, and I'm huge fans of T-Rex. Okay, before we begin, just let you all know, I will share the slide at the end of the talk. And if you have any question, you can ask in the chat. I can see from here. So if you have any question, you can straight away ask me, then I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. I think that's all the introduction. Let's begin. So today we're going to focus on Chrome DevTools, but as a web developer, you all know you don't just use one browser. You do testing on multiple, like you do testing on Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge, some other web browser. And same for the DevTools. Since you need to debug on other browsers, you also need to use like Firefox DevTools, the Edge DevTools, and also sometimes the Safari Web Inspector. Both are equally good, except for Safari. Safari, the DevTool is not so good. But for the rest for Firefox, it's actually the Firefox DevTool is super, super good. And as good as the Chrome DevTools. For the Edge is actually same as Chrome, because you know the new Microsoft Edge is actually running Chromium. All right. So if you're web developers, you should familiar with Chrome DevTools, right? One thing. Okay, so you may not know is Chrome DevTools, the tool you use every day, is actually a web app. So it's actually a very, very huge open source web application, which you can find the code on GitHub or the Google. They have basically their Git system, but you also can find the mirror of the code on GitHub. For Chrome DevTools, it's actually a 300,000 line of code of JavaScript, which is a lot, and 18,000 of CSS. Wow. So to maintain the code is actually not easy. It took me a while to understand the code. Until now, I still don't understand all the codes, and they keep adding more and more features. And this is what we're going to talk about today. So a high-level explanation of Chrome DevTools and your browser. So to make everything works, I can see someone drawing on my computer. Okay, anyway, to make the browser and the DevTool works, you need something like the middleman. So in this case, the middleman is called CDP, Chrome DevTools Protocol. So that's the magic where the magic happens. How can DevTools talk to the browser, or the browser can talk to the DevTools? So to do that, there's the CDP, and you may not familiar with Chrome DevTools Protocol, but if you heard about something called Puppeteer, so basically it's a headless mode to run Chrome. Basically, you use it to generate PDF, to run server-side rendering. It's actually using the same thing called Chrome DevTools Protocol, but I'm not going to focus on this thing today, but you can Google search and search about this protocol. It's super, super cool. Okay, before we start about the demo of the Chrome DevTools, we're going to talk about something else first. So if you build web application, for sure you're going to use a lot of framework. So actually there are a lot of the framework that have their own DevTools, which basically they extend the feature of the existing Chrome DevTools. So for React, Preact, Angular, Vue.js, they all have very, very powerful, very, very useful DevTools which you can use. The one to mention one is a React and Vue.js, which has the React has 2 million downloads and the Vue.js has 1 million downloads, which is super popular. So if you use those framework, be sure to download it and use it, because it basically enhance your development experience. Okay, one thing. In this demo, I'm going to run everything on the latest version of Chrome Canary. But if you're using a stable version of Google Chrome, you can just go to Chrome Flex and enable this the DevTools experiments. this will enable some of the cool and like the latest and the greatest feature. Since you're a developer, you know what happened, the browser went wrong, you can just turn this off. But if you turn it on, you get all the latest and the greatest feature. So one small feature that I want to talk about, the bad bonus stuff, is something called remote debugging. So if you use Android, so you know Android is basically, you know, the same thing, it's the same company. So it's owned by Google. So by default, they should have the Chrome installed. So you can use the Chrome to debug Chrome on Android. So to do that, you can use this remote debugging. Just go to Chrome inspect/hash devices. And by connect to your Android phone to your computer to Mac or PC or any devices. And for Android, you need to enable the ADB, and you can debug your Android version of the Chrome directly from a computer. So this is how you debug basically a different browser on the same browser, something like that. Okay. The most modern thing is Facebook in-app browser. The Facebook in-app browser is not like 100% Chrome, so it's kind of buggy. Like sometimes your website doesn't work on it. So previously, there's no way for you to debug the website running on the Facebook in-app browser. But right now, you can do that using this remote debugging. All right, let's close this thing. Let's go to the live demo. Okay, so there's one command I'm going to use today a lot, which is something called Command Shift P, which is called the command menu. If you use Sublime Text before, then you're familiar with this feature. So this allows you to basically, let me show you. So Command Shift P, or if you're using Windows, you just press on Control Shift P. So by doing this, that allow you to show, it bring you a lot of menu, a lot of features. But the best thing is you can just search it. Let's say today I want to make the DevTools turn into the dark theme. I can just type dark and press enter. So you don't need to go to the setting and find where is the menu. Because sometimes the DevTools has too many features, which is kind of hard to find the feature you want. So you can just use the command menu, which is again, Command Shift P, and type, I want to change back to light theme. Just type light theme. So this allows you to save a lot of times, and basically, yeah, you can use it. It's basically like VS Code and Sublime, but on DevTools. One small thing is you can move the position of the DevTools from like right-hand side. You can move to the dock to left. You can dock to bottom. You also can bring it out to a separate window. But right now we just dock it to the right-hand side. Okay, let's talk about all the greatest feature and the latest feature from Chrome DevTools. This one, it works on Chrome 84 or above. So there's a new feature in the tooltips. So if you highlight on any element, you can see previously it just show you the color, the font, and the font. But right now you're going to show more stuff like accessibility. So right now you can see on the screen, it's actually showing the contrast. If you put the area label, it will show on the tooltip, or the area low, or let's say is this keyboard focusable? No. So you can see all the accessibility information directly on the tooltip, which is useful for those building website, which should work for everyone. Okay, this is tooltip, a new thing in Chrome 84. The next thing is the background image, which I don't have background image. Okay, go to bbc.com. So for those websites has background image, you may know there's a problem where you can't preview the image directly on the Chrome DevTools. But with Chrome 84, you're able to do that. Give me a second. Okay, basically you should be able to preview the image directly from the Chrome DevTools for the background image. Let me see, is there any background image? Okay, anyway, I'm going to show this later on. Okay, another demo is called a new thing called App Shortcut. App Shortcut is actually a new feature which just arrived like a few weeks ago, which basically like it did something like the Android. If you're Android developer, you should be familiar with this thing. So for those using Android, if you added the PWA to the home screen, you can long press on it, and there's a few custom options. You can try that with the apps like Google Maps. Spotify also did that, not Facebook, not Messenger, but PWA has this feature. But in order to debug it, you can use DevTools to debug this thing. So let me show you an example. Okay, in order to do that, you just need to basically declare the shortcut directly in the manifest.json. Glitch is very slow. Okay, anyway, since it's so slow. Okay, never mind. So F shortcut, you just remember that. You just Google search. Okay. Next thing is modern CSS color syntax. So it's a new thing which it sounds weird, but you know you can put the color in the hex, right? So this is usually how you write your color code. So you either write like this or you use RGBA. But right now, the modern CSS color syntax, actually you can just remove the comma. So in this case, you can see this example, the RGB 14, but there's no comma. But this is the modern syntax, which the browser will understand it. So basically, you don't need to write the comma. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this. I don't like. I personally still prefer comma. So yeah. Okay, one cool tips is from the setting, you can actually set a default color format. So it's totally up to you, like which color format you prefer. Some people prefer hex, some people prefer RGB, some people prefer HSL. So you can use this to basically override, and when it show on the DevTools, it's going to choose based on what you choose. Okay, next thing, this is new on Chrome 84. So it's called the new issue tabs. So basically, if you, let's say you go to bbc.com, so usually you see a lot of like this kind of the yellowish background color, the not error message, those message on the console log, which is, in this case, you can see there are a lot of the pass blocking cost origin site error message, which is kind of annoying, but technically those are not very helpful. With Chrome 84, there's a new tab called issue tab. So from here, they will basically combine all the error, all the issue, and show it directly like this. So it's make your console tab better, but the most importantly, it will basically show how you can fix the issue. So it show you all the information. In this case, is the same set cookies. So it will show you all the information, what is affected, how can you fix it, and basically they'll give you a link to Web.dev and teach you how to fix the issue on your website. So this is a new feature on the new Chrome 84 on the issues tab. Okay, this thing is my favorite so far. So it's CSS grid tooling. For those build website with CSS grid, you know, the CSS grid support on Chrome DevTools is horrible. To do that, you need to use Safari DevTools, which is amazing. It has basically the best CSS grid tooling so far, but not now. So starting Chrome Canary 85, which actually released like yesterday. So it's a super new feature. This will allow you to basically enhance the CSS grid debugging experience with Chrome DevTools. So let me just show you an example. So I have an example of the CSS grid. So if you scroll this down, so at first you can see there's a grid, right? There's basically a new button, a new chip appear here. So yes, it's a new feature. When you hover on the element, okay, so you can see it's kind of spatial in here. So previously, if you debug CSS grid on Chrome DevTools, there are not much information show on the page, but right now it actually show you the position, to show you the number. So they added actually a few. Actually, they changed since yesterday. So actually, they added a few more. So you can see there are the grid number. You can toggle on and off directly from the command menu. To enable this feature, you can go to these settings and go to experiments. and enable from here, enable new CSS grid debugging features. This feature is still work in progress. It's actually a collaboration with Microsoft Edge and Google Chrome team. So it's kind of nice to see like Google and Microsoft working together. So you can use this if you have CSS grid on your website. Yes, it's a good news. You can use this basically to debug your CSS grid, so you don't need to use Firefox anymore. Good news. All right, next thing is performance panel. On the Chrome 84, they added more feature to the performance panel, including the TBT, total blocking time, and they provide more information about the cumulative layout shift. But you can learn more this on the web.dev live, which happened end of this month. So you can learn about performance panel on the web.dev live day 2 while still in Chrome DevTools. So there will be a session on this teach you how to use the DevTools. Let's get everything news about the DevTools, including this performance panel. So stay tuned for that. All right, so let's talk about something else. So let's talk about debugging CSS using Chrome DevTools. So, well, Chrome DevTools, you use it to debug CSS. It's a very obvious thing to do, right? This is a new feature, but I don't see a lot of document or article about this. It's called CSS Overview. Basically, it gives you an overview of all the styling on your website. So let's say go back to BBC website. So you can, again, this thing needs to be enabled from the experiments. So you can go here and find on this CSS Overview. So from here, you can just Command Shift P and type CSS Overview. So you just press on the Capture Overview. So just wait for a while. You basically get all the styling on this website, and you process and give you a report which looks like, is it working? This is what happened when you demo on Canary. Is it working? No? Yes? Okay, let me try on stable version of Chrome. No, it is not working. Right, this is what I love about live demo. Sometimes the whole thing is just not working. Okay, let me try on another website. CSS Overview, Capture. Is it working? Yes, no? No, it's not working. Okay, so for some reason it's not working. Okay, I have a image for that. Let me find where is it. CSS Overview. Okay, so actually it looks something like this. So you give a report like this. So you basically get all the color on the website, the media query, the font size, the font family, and generate in this one super cool report. So you will know, actually from here, not really sure, but maybe you can see the Z index. So you can see the Z index 99999 from the DevTools. But from here, you can basically use this tool to clean up your CSS. So sometimes you use font 14, 14.5, 15, 15.5, 16. So maybe you should clear it up, become like 14, 15, and 16. That's all. So from this summary, it gives you a lot of very good detail about how you write a CSS in one report, in one same page. Okay, it's not working on Canary for some reason. Right. So it's not working. Okay, so basically it gives you, oh yes, it also gives you like the statistic of like you use the class or ID selector. Basically you should check it out because it's very, very awesome. Okay, another thing is, okay, this is not new feature, but it's not very old feature. So it's a trick for you to save your time. So let's say you have the RGB, right? So if you want to change your hex, usually you just press on this box and you change from here. But you know, 1 second is 1 second, so we need to save our time. We can just press Shift and click. So you can directly change your color format by pressing Shift button. So it saves your time, because why not? Shortcut is the best. Okay, next thing is CSS Autocomplete. For me, I don't remember all the stuff, so I use Autocomplete a lot. As you all know, like let's say if you want to do the Autocomplete, you just like type like background color. But you also can do like in the reverse way. You can straight away write the value, just write flex n. And if you autocomplete the first part, like the align content, align items for you. which is good, right? Because you don't need to remember everything. And the next thing is, this is animation. So if you use CSS animation, it's hard to debug actually. So for Chrome DevTools, there's actually an animation panel, which again, you can enable from here, from the command menu. So you can, once this panel is open, so it will start to listen for any animation on the page. So let's say we have this ripple button effect. Let me press. So you can see there's a nice ripple effect on this div, but how can we debug this? So if you go back to this animation panel, you can click on this. So you can see there's actually a preview on each animation. So if you click on this time frame, so you can see, you can note this, there's a class called ripple button. So it changed the background size and background color. But the best thing is you can adjust this thing, change the timing, and not only that, you can slow down the animation speed by doing this. Is it working? Let me close this thing. Okay. No. Okay. So if you click on this thing, all the animations should run in 25%. Yes, super slow motion. I love it. So this animation panel, and also another thing is from here, the animation, you can use this to basically, I just show you, you understand what I'm talking about. So it's a cool way for you, because if you just look at the number, you will never understand what is what. So they have to visualize the whole thing with the preview, so you know how your animation will look in real life. So that's animation. The next thing is CSS. So you can use it to debug box shadow. Again, it's just an animation. So you can click on this button. There's a shadow editor, which you can change the shadow just like this. So you don't need to remember the XY blur spread. It just directly use the UI, the shadow editor, to change it for you. Okay, then one small thing is about, again, accessibility is a big thing. We want to make sure everyone can see your website and use your website easily. So for example, it's black background, you should use white text. So in this case, the white text is very, very visible. It got a very good contrast ratio. So to prove that, you can hover on this thing. So you can see there's a contrast. You can see the 21 on the tooltip. So there's a green tick, means we are good. But of course, you can look at more information by clicking at the color picker. So from here, you can see the color contrast is 21. When you click on this arrow, it will show you two lines. The first line is actually for AA, and the second line is for AAA. As you know, AAA is better than AA. So it's basically like A plus and A plus plus, something like that. So if you smooth, because right now you see there's two tick, right, means it's good. Okay, let's say there's this example. We have a gray background with a white text. The color, as you can see, the contrast is not good, but we can prove it. So from here, you can see the the contrast ratio is 1.76, which is bad. But we can use this thing to adjust it. Once we move it below this, the first line, you can see the first AA become thick, which is at least is visible. But it's still not the best. If we move it down, then we get two ticks. So in this case, it's still the best because the color contrast is very, very good. So you can use this color contrast, which is come with the color picker. You can use this to basically improve the accessibility on your website. The next thing is, well, I love shortcut, and sometimes I just want to hide stuff. So let's say you select this element and you want to hide it. Usually you just go to type like display none, or just opacity set to 0, or like visibility set to hidden. But what can you do is just press on the keyboard, just press H. Then the Chrome DevTools will automatically hide it for you. Actually, just added this class, but yeah, they do it for you, which is, shortcut is the best thing, right? Because it saves your time. And for me, lazy people, which is cool. So you can use hash to unhide this thing. Okay, next thing is shortcut. So you may not know, but that's actually a very powerful shortcut tool directly in the Chrome DevTools. So again, we can use the Command-Shift-P, the command tool, and just type screenshot. So there's actually 4 types of screenshot which you can use. capture area, capture full size, capture node, and capture screenshot. The best part is the capture full size. So in order to capture the whole full page screenshot, you can use DevTools to do this. Just press on the capture full size screenshot and it will generate the file for you. So in this case, it downloaded a PNG file, which we can preview. So directly from the Chrome DevTools, we are able to generate this type of screenshot without any third-party Chrome extension. So Chrome DevTools can do this. If you have any Chrome extensions which can do the same thing, well, we can remove it because Chrome DevTools can do the same thing and it's built in. So for styling, the last thing, if you're a designer, if you're not a developer, if you're a developer, you should use Chrome DevTools. But if you're a designer, or you just want to focus on design, that's something you should check it out. It's called Vista. It's also built by Chrome team. It's built by a Googler called Adam, which is amazing. It's actually open source on GitHub. You can find on things like github.com/Google Chrome Labs/Vista. What this thing do is basically it's like Chrome DevTools but built for designer. So it has all the design feature, like if you want to change color, if you want to move it, if you want to, you can like remove the item. It's coming soon. But it show you it's a dev tool for designer. So if you're a designer, you should check it out. If you're developers, you should check it out too because it's fun. All right, let's talk about JavaScript. So to debug with JavaScript, obviously you use DevTools again, and most likely you're going to use console. So a quick command for you to open this thing is press on escape button. So you can quickly toggle the bottom console panel, just pressing the escape button. So it saves you a little bit of times. Shortcut is the best. Okay, let's talk about console log, the classic console log. You use it a lot. The most basic, I think, the first thing you learn when you're learning web development is that console log hello world. So in this case, I can just console log hello Sri Lanka. So you not only can console log text, which is everyone know about this. You can console log array object. So if you in this case, I just console log array object, so it return you information like this. But showing information like this is not very good because there's a better way called console table, which output exactly the same thing, the same array, but in the form of table. But what's best is you can sort this thing. So you can do sorting directly from the console table, which is something amazing because you don't need to write your own code. They have to do it for you. Okay, this is console log. Next thing is, okay, let's talk about network condition. So when you're developing a website, you make using your Office network, which is maybe super fast, but your actual user are basically maybe using a 2G network or 3G network, which is maybe super slow. Or sometimes we call it Wi-Fi, because the network in real life is unpredictable. So to do that, we can simulate the network condition from the network condition tab. So you can just search for show network condition. So this is new since the last version of Google Chrome. You can disable and enable cache from here, and you can slow down your internet to like fast 3G, slow 3G, or just set it to offline. But the best thing is you can change the user agent directly from here. So there are actually a lot of like the preset user agent which you can use. So let's say if you change to Internet Explorer 7 and you go to google.com, funny thing will happen. So if I go to google.com with the user agent of IE7, Google looks like this, which is horrible. Okay, so this user agent, the tricks is for those who want to download Facebook video, you can open this thing, change the user agent to Internet Explorer 10, then you should download the MP4 file. Okay. Next thing is server timing. So this is something not very useful for me, but if you're working with the back-end developer and front-end, sometimes the back-end is quite slow and you want to know what's the reason. So you can use something called server timing. So let me show you this example. So that's actually implemented by BBC. Okay, let me open the DevTools. So server timing, as the word server timing, the timing of the server. So if you look at, okay, let me refresh the page again. So from the timing, so you can see, okay, yes. So this part, the server timing. So I don't think you see this before, but you need to set this on your server. So the server need to return you this value, but this value can be shown on Chrome DevTools. So it's actually written in a header. So in this case, we can know like in the server, they're fetching the data for like 71 milliseconds, and they do the markup for like 41 milliseconds. And the server process took around like 122 milliseconds. So the actual the TTFB time to first byte, it took around like 372 milliseconds. So we know it's like 372 minus 122. Those time are on the network. So it's between the optic fiber between your computer to the server of the BBC. So you can use this to calculate a very, very detailed, like a very, very accurate timing of what happening between your computer and your server. So that's server timing. And application panel. Okay, so if you're building a PWA, this panel will be super useful because it shows all the information that you need. Like you can monitor your background fetch, background scenes notification, your payment handler, which is if you use the web payment API, then you can see it from here. And you can use this to debug your periodic background scene, which is you can basically like a cron job for front end, something like that, and also the push messaging. And one of my favorite that which I use a lot, which is to use Chrome DevTools to debug my service worker to make sure everything is working. So in this case, you can see this is actually, you can filter the service worker from other origin, or you can clear or restart your service worker directly from the Chrome DevTools. And also the manifest, you can see they show information like, can you install this website as a PWA? So in this case, it's no, because there's no service worker. It shows all the information that you need directly in the Chrome DevTools. And also it shows you the information like the color, the background, the theme color, the splash screen. And for the icon, it will preview it for you. And also a new thing which comes with the previous version of Google Chrome, which is unstable right now, is something called masterable icon. So for those phones, like if you're using Pixel, like the default shape of the icon is circle. If you use like Samsung device, it's like a rounded square. So from here, you can use a masterable icon. It's exactly the same thing as Android, but they bring the feature to the web too. Okay, next thing, emulator device. Okay, this is kind of new. For those, I guess all of you are aware there are devices called Galaxy Fold, which is a lot of problem, and the upcoming Surface Fold, the Microsoft Surface Fold. So in Chrome DevTools, they actually prepare for that. So from here, you can not only debug devices like the Moto G4, and by the way, you can actually show the device frame. Yes, you can show the device frame of, in this case, the Moto G4 or like the iPhone. Yes, they have a frame for that, and you can capture a screenshot from here with the frame. So if you look at this, the screenshot actually took your website plus the device frame. So it's useful for if you want to share to social media. So to make sure your preview image looks nice. But the new thing is these two, Surface Duo and Galaxy Fold. So in this case, if I click on Surface Duo, so it looks normal until I click on this button. So it will simulate dual screen mode. So in this case, you can see my website is split into two screens. So this is what happens if you browse this website on a Surface Duo. This thing is actually still work in progress, and the API for that is still work in progress, but it's new thing. But not a lot of people has this kind of device, so I think it's fine. But it's cool to see it's actually landed on Chrome DevTools super early. All right, let's continue. So this, other than, okay, what is this? Okay, this is sensor. So you actually also can debug sensor directly from Chrome DevTools. Let me show you. Let's go to show sensors. So from here, you actually can use this to change your geolocation. So you mock your GPS location. So you can change it to like San Francisco, you can change it to Mountain View, which is the same place. You can basically change to anywhere, or you can just put your own latitude and coordinate. And the new thing is you can change time zone plus basically the website language. So you can change it to like ENUS, or you can change it to like, if Chinese language is like ZH, ZHTW, ZHCN, you can change to any language. So basically you don't need to change your device language to do that. You can directly change the language from DevTools. And also you can change the orientation, which for mobile devices, there's the gyroscope and accelerometer. So you can use this to simulate it like this. It's useful for those working on like the VR website. If you're using like the web VR API, then you can use this to preview without using actual device. Okay, next thing is a bonus feature. It's called document.design mode. Maybe you heard this before, but let me just show you. Okay, let's go to guardian.com. Okay, let me find, is anything useful? Okay, so we have like, okay. So what I can do is I just go to type document.design mode and set to on. So what I can do right now is like, I can change anything like Google Docs, like Microsoft Word, your privacy, my privacy. So you can change anything like that, like, oops, I just click it. Or you can change like not headline. Okay, basically this is what you can do with the document.design mode. You can change any content and you can change the temperature weather, like 99 degrees Celsius, because why not? And you can just take a screenshot and share to your friend. And this is how you create fake news. Please don't do that. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about performance. So performance is a big deal for any web developer building website. You want to make sure your website looks faster, everything runs smoothly. So to do that, there's a tool called Lighthouse. Maybe you already know that. So let's go to, okay, this website, the Mozilla website. So on DevTools, you can go to the Lighthouse. So what Lighthouse can do is give you a report, a very, very detailed report that show you all the issues that you may have on your website. So I select all and click on generate report. It may take maybe like 30 seconds to generate a report. But what you can do from here is, it will give you information like your performance, your accessibility, your SEO, best practice, everything directly in this one single report. And you can use it to share to your other colleague, like, hey, you should fix this thing. And all right, almost done. Oh, yes, and also, it also check is your website a PWA or not, since it's a big thing right now, right? So almost done. Okay, so you can see for this website, the performance is 53, which is not very good, but you can see that accessibility is 95, which is amazing. SEO 90 is amazing. Best practice 100%. But unfortunately, this one is not a PWA. But the good thing is it actually provides you a lot of information, including there's something called the Core Web Writer, which Chrome announced that like a few weeks ago. So it shows you all the information like the CFP, the first contentful pane is 2.2 seconds, which is good. But let's say in this case, the time to interactive is 9.1 seconds, which is not good. So you know what can you fix it, but like how? What is time to interactive? So what you need to do is press on this button. It will show you more information. And the most importantly, it show you this link, learn more. When you click it, it brings you to web.dev, and it teaches you how to fix this issue step by step. So it shows you how to fix your performance, and in this case, also like if you do this, then you can improve it. Like you can remove all the unused CSS. Oh yes, speaking of unused CSS, you may load too much of code to your website. Like let's say your website is just need like maybe 10 KB of CSS, but you send 1 MB of CSS to user. So you need to know like how can I lazy load the styling. So to do that, you can use a tool called coverage. So again, Command Shift P, coverage. So in this coverage panel, you can just click on refresh. So it reload the page and it will basically generate a small report. So in this case, you can see like the CSS file, 81% of this CSS is not being used. So what should we do is actually we should, those 81% we should lazy load this because it slowed down our performance. In this case, if we lazy load this part, 81% of the CSS, we can save up to 161 KB, which is a lot. You can use coverage to basically do lazy loading. So you know what you should lazy load it. So in this case, you can see the coverage is only 18.2%. So we can see this the blue color, green color thing. Those are the code that actually run, and you see the red color is not run. So we should lazy load this part of code. Okay, back to Lighthouse. If you're using a stable version of Lighthouse, it should running Lighthouse 5.7.1, if I remember correctly. If there's a new version of Lighthouse 6.0, which they bring more information, they bring more metrics to the Lighthouse, is now here on Chrome Canary 84. No, Chrome Canary 85. All right, next thing is performance. Okay, let me show you a cool example of benchmark. So we hear about like, should I use for loop or for each? Which one is faster? So to prove it, how can I do that? Because the performance depends on case by case. So to do that, it's better to test it yourself. So in this case, let me go to performance tab and press on the reload button. So from here, it start to profile the website. It may take a while. Okay, from here, it actually gives you a lot of information. Some of the information, you should learn it from the web.dev live, end of this month on day 2. But what I'm going to show you here is, after you run the profile, go back to sources panel, and find on the code. So from here, you can see there's a loop, right? I run it for, I think, 1 million times, and it took 252 milliseconds to run this line of code, and 474 milliseconds to run this line of code. So you can, from here, you can see the benchmark in millisecond or worse in second. So this is a cool trick you can do directly from DevTools. You can benchmark like line by line. Yeah, coverage I mentioned just now. Rendering. So sometimes we want to make sure like if you use Pixel 4, then your phone should run in like 90 Hertz. The screen is running in 90 Hertz, which is super smooth. But your website may run in like 15 frames per second. So to do that, you can open Chrome DevTools and you click on Show Rendering. So from here, it shows you a lot of information like the FPS meter. So from here, you can see like the frame rate is actually 5 milliseconds because it's not running animation. But if you scroll, you can see it's actually running in like 30 to 60 milliseconds, 30 to 60 frames per second, which is good. And okay, let me close this thing. And that's actually a new feature. So from here, you can actually emulate the CSS media type. By default, it's screen, or you can emulate cream, which if you're building like e-commerce website, you have receipt. You can emulate it directly from Chrome DevTools. But also you can emulate dark theme and light theme. So let's say which website. Okay. Example, let's go to, is there any website that support dark mode? I can't remember any website that has dark mode. Anyway, you can use this to change the browser dark and light theme directly from here. And another thing is for those have disability, so you can use it. Some people they prefer to have reduced motion. And again, you can use the CSS prefer reduced motion to set it, but to emulate it, you can emulate directly from Chrome DevTools, which is from this option. And the last thing is actually a new thing, which I think it's come from the latest version of Chrome, which you can do this. So for those wearing spec like me, so if you don't wear the glasses, you can't see anything, and this is what you see. This is what I see when I'm not wearing glasses. Everything is blur. And of course, if you simulate, like those cannot see the color properly. So you basically, like some people cannot see red color properly, or green color, or yellow color. So you can emulate it directly from Chrome DevTools. So those people, when they're browsing your website, this is what they see. So you can emulate it. And for those that you can see in black and white only. All right, okay, let me go back to my slide. Okay, that's almost finished because it's like almost 50 minutes. It's 9:20 p.m. in Bangkok. I'm not really sure what's the time in Sri Lanka right now, but yeah. Okay, this is the page. What I want you to do is take screenshot because it has all the information, all the cool information you need. There's a slide deck on the one I talked about today, the slide, and the link to the Chrome DevTools documentation. What's new in Chrome DevTools is the article, so you can learn all the latest and greatest feature of Chrome DevTools. Follow Chrome developers on Twitter, twitter.com/chromiumdev. Follow Chrome DevTools, Chrome developer Twitter on, basically it's just look at the screen. If you found any bug, especially those using Chrome Canary, please report it on crbug.com. And for those who want to try it yourself, try to build Chrome DevTools on your computer, you can go to the github.com/Chrome DevTools front end. Try that, it's super fun to build your own Chrome DevTools. I'll give you 10 more seconds to take a screenshot of this page. Actually, just take the first link, the bit.ly/devtools-ggg Sri Lanka. Okay, continue. All right, so advertisement from Google. So make sure you tune in on June 30. Depends on time zone, so it may be like June 31st. So there's an event called web.dev live. Since there's no Google I/O this year, so they move it and call it web.dev live. So it's a 3 days online event, which you can join for free. No registration, just go to YouTube, the Chrome developer YouTube, and watch it online. The Chrome teams will join live on a few days on certain time, and they will answer your question live. So be sure to tune into this event, which is a big thing. They're going to announce a few cool, exciting stuff during the event. Yes, you should tune in. There are very exciting announcement coming soon. Okay, so that's all from me. You can find me on Twitter, HenryLin96, and thanks for joining. And of course, thanks for Google, for the Chrome team for helping me for this slide. So that's all from me. If you have any question, you can leave your question in the chat, which I can see your question here. So thanks for joining. Any question? Do you upload the recording, organizer? Oh,
yeah,
the answer
we upload
is
the
yes.
session to YouTube.
What do you mean by Lighthouse in DevTools? The Lighthouse is this one. So on DevTools, you can go to search for Lighthouse, and Lighthouse is the thing that generates the report for you. So in this case, it generates the report for PWA, performance, best practice, accessibility, and SEO. Yeah, this one. So this is Lighthouse. So it show you all the information, the metric of your website. Okay, any other question? Okay, the video will be live on GDG's youtube.com/GDG Sri Lanka. So you find me there. Yeah.
Okay, then seems like there's another question.
Okay, in order to take screenshot, so what you need to do is open DevTools, click on Command Shift P or Control Shift P, and you just type screenshot. So there will be, you have 4 options, 4 different ways for you to take screenshot, and just press enter. In this case, let me take just a normal screenshot, enter. It will generate a PNG file for you, and it will download automatically, just like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Henry, for your valuable session. So let's wind up the session then. Okay, good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining.